How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting. Welcome back to Muv-Luv Monday, where we are here on episode 3 of the day after. So, Matsukaze kind of confronted Hibiki and asked for him to tell the story about crossing. And now that Hibiki has more of his memories, he was actually able to tell a lot of it. But Matsukaze pointed out there's a little bit of some gaps in the story as he tells it. For instance, they were on the brink of starvation. He was able to reconcile the idea that, like, the commander maybe didn't hang himself out of despair, but out of the desire to do whatever it takes to try and provide for his soldiers without them having to become monsters. And maybe that worked for a bit. In fact, I have a sneaking suspicion that Yuzuka had been secretly preparing the rations that they would eat, telling them it was like bugs or something, which I remember Hibiki talking about at one point, which is why it tasted funny. And then I think when Hibiki was out, I think Ellen and Yuzuka were fighting because they were out of food, all food. And I worry that the fight that happened between them was about who was going to be the next source of nutrients. And I don't know. I have a feeling we're not going to like these next revelations, but anyway, let's get moving on to it, because as he's coming back from his overlook, after going out with Matsukaze, he's coming back and he's happening to overhear Ellen and Yuzuka having some kind of discussion. And I decided to stop it there, so this is the discussion just starting out. Let's get into it. High time you realize you can't take everything on yourself. What you're doing now is purely for your self-satisfaction.
事情を知らない人間にとやかく言われるのが嫌なら、そういう振る舞いをしなさいよ。
This is very serious.
まさか自分が望んでもいないのに無理やり連れ出されたからなんて言わないでよね。いい年した大人が。
あなたには関係ありません。
Is he talking about her dad?
あなたって。
何やってんだ？
立浪注意。これは今日の晩のおかずがメンチでカツですから。
Hey, Miono, calm down.
仙道専務、親父さんのことか。
軍務ではありません。プライベートには触れてほしくないです。
Oh boy. I don't like that it's dividing them. That's not great, but I still think she's got a point. It's her business. That pretty much answers my question. And that also explains why she's having an argument with Ellen. Can't be about anything but family issues. Man, wish there was something I could do for her, but I can't even imagine what kind of problems rich people have. We really are worlds apart, huh? Gotta hand it to Matsukaze. He was right on the money.
別に詮索しようとは思わないさ。でも、お前の問題は俺たちの問題だ。今までも誰の時もそうやってきただろう。
そうだよ。ゆずちゃんだって私やエレンちゃんのこといっぱい助けてくれたでしょ。
みんなお前のこと心配してるんだぜ。
ありがとうございます。でも今は言いたくないんです。正直思い出したくもありません。ゆずちゃん、私の態度に問題があった。それは認めます。申し訳ありませんでした。
Yeah, something terrible must have happened.
でも個人の心の問題は何かと比較して善悪を語れることではないと思います。失礼します。
So he was in the wrong. So what choice did she make?
で、一応聞くけど何があったの？
こういう状況で家族との再会を喜べない気持ちはさておき、建前を取り繕うこともしないのは気に入らないと言ったのよ。
Right.
なるほどな。
Ellen's from Quebec. Maybe her parents are still alive, but it ain't like she can cross the border and drop out a hat, with her being a political exile. Oh, and she's under suspicion for being a spy, so there's that too. The only way for her to meet her folks again would be to legit peace treaty, and even then, it wouldn't be a sure thing. No wonder Yuzuka's pissing her off. I should have paid more attention to what Ellen's going through. There's a reason she threw me a life preserver before, and I didn't stop to think about what it was.
でも 難しい問題だから。ユズカがお父様を嫌っている、心まで批判していると受け取られたみたいね。
Aren't you though? That's kind of exactly what you're doing. You are judging her.
エレンちゃんはそういうこと言ってなかったんだけど。
You might have been okay. Here's the thing: you might be color coding it as like being, concerned for her, and there might be some truth to that. That's part of what makes it so messy. But the reality is, we are sticking our nose into this business. We should, at this point, have established that we trust each other. Like, I mean, we really do. We've thrown each other's we'll throw our lives away for each other at this point. And so, if Yuzuka's drawing a line and doesn't want to talk about it, maybe we can continue showing interest in knowing more, but we should never push it past that. These, I don't know, confrontations, these intervention type things tend to not be very good. The only time interventions are really helpful is when somebody is spiraling out of control. And while Yuzuka might not have the most tasteful attitude here, I don't think this is something that's going to adversely affect her life. I mean, maybe. There's always regrets and stuff, but at the same time, it's not like this is an addiction or a lack of commitment on her part. So, I don't know, it's tough. That's what the thing is. What sucks about all of these kind of things is they're all gray areas, because you could argue that Yuzuka is obviously very not disturbed, but very, disrupted, and that could affect her ability to perform on the field of battle. But we haven't seen any evidence of that yet, so to assume it's the possibility is kind of silly. I don't know. I don't like it. I think they're pushing too far here.
Sendo 少尉は自分の態度がみんなに嫌な思いをさせてるってことを理解だから何を言われても必ずその裏に批判があるって疑ってかかっちまったんじゃないかな。
I mean, yeah. Especially when you all ambush her in her room or a room.
そうね。建前を取り繕えって言ったら、父親を好きになれってことですかって返され。
Okay, so Ellen wants her to actually try and build that relationship.
論点がずれたと言ったら、だって父親が好きなら建前を取り繕う必要がありませんって返されたわ。
Okay. Interesting.
でも、父親は好きになれない。すべては個人の心の問題だって言ったぞ。話が振り出しに戻ったじゃないか。
So, okay, so let's look at that real quick. When I try to tell her that, she's missing the point, because the point being that, there's a difference between having an appearance and actually trying to repair relationships. And Ellen's saying, look, it's not appropriate for you to, just not even try. You, at least make it look like you have, amenable relations. I'm guessing this is kind of heralding more to the East, the Japanese cultural sentimentalities, where appearances are very critical often, and appearances are kind of paramount to almost anything else. Because at least in my experience of American culture, if you have a strong beef with a parent, a lot of times people aren't going to pry into that. We're going to be okay, I know plenty of people had terrible relations with their parents, and for good reasons most of the time. Maybe, yeah, you'd be are you sure this is the path you want to take? Are you sure there's nothing you want to try and amend? But were it strictly here, it wouldn't be an issue, really. So it's interesting that Ellen is taking such a big stance here, but again, she's probably got other things going on that are part of the problem. But anyway, so getting back to this, she snapped back at me and said there would be no need to keep up appearances if she genuinely loved her father. So Ellen, what she's pointing out is Yuzuka's saying look, if I loved him, I wouldn't have to keep up appearances. And Ellen was probably throwing in her face saying come on, even if you have a problem, even if you guys are fighting, your family, you care about each other. And she's look, if I liked him, or even if I loved him or even liked him, I wouldn't have to pretend. And so pretending to do something doesn't make sense here, because if I had genuine feelings, I wouldn't have to pretend. That implies that she really just does not care for her father at all. And I think Yuzuka just doesn't see the point in pretending when it's not real. So I think if anything, she wants to display that she has no regrets for whatever she chose. And to do that, she has to take the stance that she does not really consider herself family with her father anymore. Only in the the biological sense. So there's got to be a reason for that. And it is silly because it just seems like, oh, well, at least like help other people feel better about it, because a lot of people like would kill to have what you have. And Yuzuka's like, no, I bet you we knew, we'd probably all be like, crap, that really sucked. I wouldn't want that at all. So, yeah.
でしょ自分で論点をずらしておいてそれなのよ。で、そのことを指摘するとだんまり。
No. I don't feel confident about a lot of my predictions, but I think I've got this one.
そんな堂々巡りを何回か繰り返していたら、響が戻ってきたわけ。
どうしたらいいんでしょう。
This isn't like Yuzuka. Wait, no, scratch that. She can be quite stubborn. I've seen that firsthand.
そうだな。しばらくそっとしておくしかないんじゃないか。しゃあねえよ。理屈が通じるまで落ち着く時間を与えた方がいい。
Yeah.
そうですね。
作戦行動に支障が出るようなら次は俺が話すよ。まあ、そこまでバカだとは思ってないけどさ。それでいいか?
Now, I do agree with this. As long as it's not interfering with work, I don't think there's a problem. I think these guys are honestly more of a problem.
響にお任せします。
よろしくお願いします。
了解だ。それにしても、二人とも心配してくれてありがとうな。
だって大切な仲間だし。
そうだな。でも突っ込みづらい話題だろ。そこを突っ込んでくれたのは隊長としては嬉しいぞ。
To Miono, Yuzuka's more than really important. She's family, period. Same for Lieutenant Ogami and everyone at the orphanage. About time I make a habit of notice that sort of stuff before it explodes in my face. Man, I suck at this leadership thing. I think we all do, Hibiki. I think even the best leaders feel like they suck. In fact, I think the leaders who are the worst are the ones that are convinced they're doing a great job and hate hearing the opposite. Oh boy. YouTube. It's okay. She's really pretty. Holy crap, she's definitely the prettiest character in the game.
私は思い通りにならないって切り捨てたくせに今さら。
Yep, I think she's in the right. Time for a trip down memory lane. I knew deep down I didn't want to have to open this bag again, but I couldn't bring myself to throw it away either. That's why I shoved it deep into the closet and tried to pretend it wasn't there. Anything that would help me survive, I stuffed inside this baby, including food.
汚ね。
Tissue packs, paper napkins, magazines. I was carrying a lot of paper products and I noticed. Well, a man needs to wipe his butt every now and then. A towel, some stationery, a flashlight, and leaves? Oh, those get in there. Let's see what else I've got. What the heck? My head's throbbing. Uh-oh. He's gonna find something. That was a sign from my subconscious. Yeah, it's like, don't do it, buddy. Whatever's inside this bag has got to be really dang important. Still, I don't think any of this stuff fits the bill. Fits the bill today, I mean. All this used to make a difference between life and death. And I'm looking for something that could have really been important to me in the present, and I'm drawing a blank. Human memory sure is fragile, huh? Matsukaze said he kind of gets my experience, but you can't really understand this crap until it happens to you. I almost starved to death. No kidding, I'm gonna be obsessed with food. That's a natural reaction. Feels like that dude was calling me weird right to my face. I don't know if it just slipped out or if he actually feels sorry for me. And I know he didn't mean anything by it. Matsukaze can't help but say the first thing that comes to his mind. But the thing I wanted him to understand, and it's something that should be obvious to anyone, is that we should count our blessings that we can still eat proper meals. Yes. Maybe we're poor these days, maybe we're getting by on scraps, and that sure beats having nothing to eat at all. Still, I can't let people, it ain't like people can survive by eating whatever they can get their hands on. It ain't so simple. There used to be many different cultures on the planet. Goes without saying that not everyone's going to have the same tastes. Some people would settle for things I think are absolutely disgusting, and the reverse is also true. When it comes down to it, the choice of what to eat is purely a matter of taste. But if you face the same decision when your life's at stake, your sense of taste will make all the difference. That's why the production plant is a game changer. A machine that can make any kind of food you want out of ocean plankton? Sign me up. France right now is starving. That's why Her Highness tried to do something to lessen their pain. Easy for me to understand why the French are going through. I've been there myself. What's amazing to me is that somebody like Her Highness can empathize with their suffering. She's never lacked for anything, yet she tries her hardest to put herself in their shoes. Wish there were more people like her around. Huh. Oh, it's great for you to just assume that because somebody was born into a position of authority that they didn't have any struggles. Maybe they didn't face starvation, sure, but if only you knew. And again, I don't have any right to cast the first stone, not after I forgot things that should never be forgotten. I barely made an attempt to come to terms with what I've done. Asagi, I'm sorry I forgot about what I did. I've learned my lesson. I'll never forget that I killed you with my own 2 hands. I'm kind of thinking he didn't, though. Oh, gosh. Ugh. December. Things really always escalate December, January.
これで事前に打てる手は全て打ったということですね。
あとは閣下の手腕にかかっておりますわ。
I don't like this guy, by the way. Don't like him.
あまり緊張させないでくれ。重圧で心が折れそうだ。学生の頃から緊張などしたことがなかったでしょ。散々教官をいじって遊んでいたくせに。
Oh, yes. Thankfully, somebody in the comment did help me. Remember I was saying that, like, I was like, I should know this guy. Like, he seemed familiar for some reason. And then someone helpfully pointed out the name Makabe. And we're like, don't you remember a Makabe? And I finally put it together. Makabe was the guy who did the transfer over to the UK division in, oh gosh, was it like Affection, I think? Like Adoration, that's what it was, Adoration. And I loved that short story, that was great. But it wasn't this guy. He was always like fanboying over his older brother. And I think that's him. Like the implication, like the person left me like breadcrumbs in their comment that kind of pointed me in that direction. So that's what I'm guessing. Because I don't see our Makabe being this cold and calculating. He was too much of a good kid. I hope he's still around. But yeah, the guy I didn't like that I pointed to, I was like, I don't like this guy. That's his older brother that he worshipped.
世界の命運を決める会議を学生時代の戯れで例えるか。今日は私より肝が太いな。私は閣下のお手伝いをしているに過ぎません。明日は閣下の力を存分に発揮していただきたく。せいぜい張り子の虎とならぬように努めよう。これ以上、藤原に失望されるのも辛いしな。
Fujiwara?
あら、嬉しいお言葉ですこと。
Fujiwara. Captain Fujiwara. That sounds familiar too. Why do I feel like I should know that?
火山院女子には聞かせられませんね。
きっとハワイでじれていらっしゃると思いますわ。
人聞きが悪いな。女子とは何もないぞ。真壁は私が遊び人であるかのように語るから困る。今源氏と呼ばれていたのは私の記憶違いではないと思いますが。
あら、それは私初耳でございます。
断っておくが、幼女を自分好みに育てた経験はないぞ。当然です。平安の時代ならいざ知らず、東大で許される話ではありません。
True. Of course, in an upheaval like this, I think people in power could dictate what constitutes appropriate conduct now. People aren't going to be able to really, like, there's so many other things on people's minds, I doubt they're going to overly care that much.
そのような話が本当にあれば、タブロイド紙が飛びついたでしょうね。
I guess that's true. They do have journalists who grab at everything.
真実でなくともでっち上げられるからな。事後処理には苦労した。そうやって今日の処理能力を鍛えていたのさ。どうだか。さて、ざれ言はここまでとしてまとめましょうか。 舞台と役者は揃いました。ここをクリアすれば、計画は次のステージに移行できます。
Oh, great.
藤原、例のレポートの操作はどうなっている？
Fujiwara. That wouldn't be Yuko Sensei's sister, would it? No, I don't think so.
あ、残念ながらまだ発見されておりません。継続して対象の身辺を洗っていますが。
これ以上、拉致が開かないのであるならば、どこかで強引に動くべきだな。白金注意。
Oh, hi.
改めて確認したい。レポートが彼女の手に渡ったのは間違いないのだな。
間違いありません。
Oh, Tucker, why?
では、捜査を継続します。
頼む。あれは我々の計画に欠かせないものだ。
Document in whose possession? Maya's, maybe?
了解しました。
注意。場合によっては戦術機起動を見せてもらうことになる。敵が何であれ、躊躇は許されぬぞ。
は。
閣下、そろそろ出発のお時間です。
My boy! What have you done to my boy? Assuming everything's going according to schedule, the Seattle Peace Conference should be starting right about now. Talk about cutting it close. Here's hoping these two don't start anything while I'm gone.
Hi, 待機所です。はい。はい、わかりました。竜波注意。小牧隊員のところまで出頭するようにだそうです。
Okay. Here we go.
とりあえず、あとは任せる。
了解です。
Oh boy. Oh boy. What a not fun trip this is gonna be. Man, riding a car with Captain Kamaki, just the two of us, it's nerve-wracking. Probably because it feels like she could blow a gasket at any second.
タイ、質問よろしいですか？
なんだ？
仙道専務との打ち合わせなんですが、なぜこの時間なのですか？4カ国会議中ですよ。警備の想定が崩れます。
Oh, that is interesting. TSFs have been deployed all over the city, but the conference is taking place at a production plant, and I really have to wonder how tight security is over there. Because, you know, the place has already been breached once.
この時間しか空きがなかった。征夷軍艦閣下が会議に出席している間だけがまとまった時間の取れる唯一の時間だということだ。
Of course, that could be on purpose, too. What if this was a kind of a way, because since we know that Mr. Sendo is in the pocket of the supreme military leader, this could be an interesting way to keep Hibiki away, since they know he's very much a pawn of the Shogun. I don't know if it'd be that intricately planned out, but depending on how big the events they want to stage at this conference might be, it could very well be the case that they're deflecting Hibiki, who has so much political sway whether he wants it or not.
随分とご多忙みたいですね。
今回の会議に合わせてボーニング社をはじめ様々な企業が動きを見せている。ハワイ中流の近衛軍、生産プラント建設に大きく貢献した川崎重工、彼らと直接話をしたい者は溢れているだろう。
That's fair.
それはそうですね。けど、さすがに政府との距離が近すぎませんか？建前とはいえ、一応民間ですよ。
I mean, do they even have to now?
気にしても仕方がない。ここにいる我々には見えないことの方が多いんだ。
Of course there is.
それは征夷大将軍殿下とつながっている貴様であったとしても大差はないと思うがな。
What is that smirk?
すみません。出しゃばったつもりはなかったんですが。
いい機会だ。正直に言おう。上官としてやりづらい。貴様には A 氏の本分さえ全うしていればいいとは言えないからな。
Yeah, it's fine because right now they're in line with each other, but the instant contradictory orders come through, Hibiki, what are you gonna do?
ああ、すみません。
しかも軍としては深入りをする気はないんだ。何のお咎めもないことからうすうす気づいているだろう。
Yeah, that's a fair point.
はい。
雄妃殿下の思いを貴様が預かることができたのは偶然だった。通常の指揮権を無視して直接下された命について、その全責任はこの江側にある。
なるほど。
直属の上官である私にすら何もない。つまりだ、この状況で貴様が偶然以上に殿下たちとの距離を縮めていても
You'll be on your own.
それは貴様の個人的な問題という扱いになるわけだ。
Exactly. No one to catch your fall, no one to blunt the strike. Someday he's gonna have to be held accountable for his actions, and nobody else can take it for him.
そこに生じる面倒も貴様自身が自分で解消しなければならん。私には手が出せない。
ごもっともです。ご面倒をおかけします。
それだけか。首相な態度だが、どうせ解消する具体策もないくせに身を引く気もないんだろ。
It wasn't like this was a plan. You just kind of jumped into it feet first.
だったらせめて一日でも早く私を追い越して自分で振る舞いを決められるようになるぐらいのことは言ってみせろ。まったくはた迷惑な英雄め。いつまでも面倒をかける気満々なのがまた腹立たしいな。
いえ、申し訳ありません。
Hibiki, she doesn't want an apology right now. She wants you to commit to something.
変な言い方になってしまうんですが。
なんだ？
ありがとうございます。こんな厄介なやつでもそばに置いてもらえるのはありがたいです。
There's a reason I can act more or less freely. Part of it's because I was a member of Major Jinguzi's hand-picked unit. But this kind of treatment is practically unheard of for a mere lieutenant. You can't keep hoping other people will put up with my crap forever.
なんだ？私が保身のために貴様を左遷するとでも思ったか？
I don't think she could even get away with that.
いや、そこまでは。
She's not that kind of person.
私には神宮寺少佐ほどの経験も見識も器の広さもない。実直と評されているらしいが、決して褒め言葉ではないだろう。
Calling her a straight shooter simply means that she has no guile, which, when you're dancing with military and politics, essentially, because she's kind of high enough on the chain, she has to dangle both. It means that she kind of gets pulled along by manipulators.
だがそれでも、私には私のやり方がある。常に誠実であろうとすることは、その筆頭だ。
I think that would be me. I think even if I had to make tough choices, in the end, I think I'd be true to my heart and be willing to accept that, even if I hated making that choice.
はい。
Some people would think admitting your flaws like that is a sign of weakness, and I would expect Captain Komaki to be one of them. Seriously, I never imagined she would open up to me like this.
だがそれは、言い方を変えれば、不器用で融通が利かない扱いづらい女って意味だってことぐらい、わかるだろ?
I feel like, maybe difficult to handle. I don't think I'd say the others, though.
返答に困ります。
Oh, come on, this is where you come up with a joke. It'd be like, or you could be like, and completely lack a funny bone. I'd be like, I'd have a terrible sense of humor.
特殊な成り立ちを持つ貴様たちを、期待をかけられている人間に任せるわけがないだろう。志願したって許さんよ。
Ouch. So she's getting treated like some thorn in the upper brass's side. That only makes me wonder what the heck she did to end up in that position.
神宮寺少佐だって随分と上から睨まれていたからな。
そうですか。いえ、想像はできます。
だがあの人はそんなことをものともしない強さがある。どんな状況下でもそれを自分の糧にできる人だ。揺るぎない目的がある。そうなのかもしれんが、それだけではない。それが少佐の積み重ねてきたものなんだろう。
Interesting, and it's a goal that she feels that her reassignment didn't deflect her from. I imagine it's mostly just peace in our time, fighting the true enemy, not each other. Her Highness said something similar, didn't she? It happened when I was angry. When I was angry, the Major got stuck in some minor bureaucratic position. I asked her to do something about it.
同意します。目的すら定まっていない自分にはとても真似できません。
Mere hours after my audience with the Shogun, I ended up working side by side with the Major again when terrorists attacked the plant. It was obvious she had some goal in mind, and that she would never compromise, not even in the face of Armageddon. And it's funny, because you usually don't get that impression from her. She's strict but understanding. Heck, you'd think she was a school teacher in another life. The Major's way of life isn't one that comes easy.
急ぐんだ。
了解。
バカ、そうじゃない。早くステージを上げろと言ったんだ。
She's like, I was being metaphorical!
ああ、すみません。
貴様の立場は、貴様自身にとってはもちろん、軍にとっても無価値ではない。だから逆に放置されるんだ。
Yep, because you know what? You're the only thing that's almost as useful as having him around as a living hero would be a martyr.
英雄が実に英雄らしい道を歩んでいる。そういう分かりやすいストーリーに載っているからな。
He's not a story.
だが、それに甘んじていると、付け入る隙が広がる一方だぞ。
That's the biggest one right there. When you get popular in your circle of friends, if you're getting political attention, if you're getting good attention from your bosses and your fellow coworkers or something, don't assume for a second that any of them actually care about you. They might, but most likely they don't. At least not enough to actually, stick their neck out for you if it meant like putting themselves on the line. I found that out the hard way through high school. I thought I had a lot of friends, but found that when push came to shove, only a few of them actually were my friends. Only a few of them even bothered to put any energy into keeping touch with me. And that's okay. It's not supposed to be any other way, but it helped me see that clearly. And so just because you get support and positive vibes from people around you doesn't mean that they're actually going to be in your corner when it matters. It just means that they enjoy being around you and the perks of coming with you for the time being.
そうですね。
Can't keep acting like my reputation is set in stone. Plenty of people would be more than happy to use me and throw me away. Not to mention how public opinion can change at the drop of a hat.
貴様が手にしているもの。それを飛躍の翼とするか縛りの鎖とするかは貴様次第なんだ。殿下のお立場だって世界の情勢だって明日をも知れないところに来ていることを忘れるな。
And he's got to remember he's chained himself to her now. Whatever happens to her, he's linked to. In fact, that's kind of what she was implying when she said as soon as it makes sense, break off from me. She effectively told him when I'm starting to go down, just cut ties and swear loyalty wherever you need to keep yourself safe, because she knows what's coming. But I don't think he will. Hibiki's not that kind of person.
わかりました。ありがとうございます。
Captain Komaki is a delicate position herself, but she still cares enough to worry about me.
念のために断っておくが。
はい。
だからといって私は貴様を甘やかして特別扱いをしたりはしないぞ。貴様の道は貴様が開け。
Honestly, it would be worse if she did try to pander to him.
了解。
ところで、仙道親子の面会の件だが、先方の秘書から連絡があった。
Oh?
え？そうだったんですか？
貴様が待機中のことだ。専務のスケジュールに空きがあることはあるが、まともな時間じゃない。
Oh.
それはそうでしょうね。仕事の要件ですら詰まってるんだから、専務はプライベートを優先するような人じゃないでしょう。
かなり深い確執があるようだな。
That's putting it mildly, in my opinion.
詳しい話は教えてもらってませんが、簡単に解消できるものでないことは確かです。
面会時間については、兵士としてのパフォーマンスを落とさない限り、干渉するつもりはない。融通を聞かせてやれ。
I agree.
ありがとうございます。
早速ですが、こちらが現場整備班からの、そしてこちらが A 氏からの要望をまとめた書類です。
お預かりします。
Alright, down to business, huh? Second time I'm meeting this dude face to face, and he really doesn't resemble Yuzuka that much. We kind of have a similar vibe, but that's it. It's an old wives' tale that girls are supposed to resemble their fathers, and boys are supposed to take after their mothers, but that's definitely not the case here. I recall people telling me I look like my mom, though, so there's gotta be some truth to it. It's interesting, for me and my siblings, like, it was different. I definitely picked up a lot more of my mom's traits and her side of the family. I reflect a lot more of the physical attributes of that side of the family. Like I've kind of got my hair's gotten long. I need to cut it, but like you can see it gets this like wave. If I grew it out long enough, it would like have these really big curls, and that's exactly how my mom's hair is. My dad's hair is very straight and like super dark, almost black. My dad is very like darker skin tones. There's a good chance we have a lot of Native American blood in our family on that side of the family. Like it's hard to tell because genealogy on that. Like I like genealogy, it's really interesting, but on that side of the family, it's very tough. There's some barriers there that make it hard to know for sure. But it's reflected a lot more in my siblings. Like I mean, I tan when like I tend to not burn, and I tend to tan, but I'm still very on the paler, very Anglo-Saxon side of skin tones, whereas my siblings are definitely on the tanner side. So if you see us standing next to each other, besides some of the similar facial like things like noses, mouth, and that kind of thing, like you probably wouldn't even guess we were siblings just because of the way the genetics rolled the dice. But yeah, so for me, I definitely have more of my mom's features than my dad's, but yeah.
なるほど。よくまとまっておりますな。それにしても膨大だ。長らく現場間の打ち合わせができていませんでしたからな。こういうのは上を通しても拉致が開かないことは経験上身に染みていますので、ご足労いただいてよかった。
Oh, that's somewhat positive, but it also could be a PR answer that means nothing. Yuzuka did say that any executive in his position needs to know what's going on at the shop level. She was pretending to talk in general, but in hindsight, it was obviously about her father.
ところで、先ほどアメリカ軍関係者と打ち合わせをしていた席で聞かされたのですが、先の生産プラントの奪還作戦において、白縫いで水中戦をした A 氏がいるとか。
Yeah, that was me. Oh no.
大丈夫ですか？
大丈夫です。
Oh, Hibiki.
こら、立浪。
すみません。
I did not see that coming. My teeth got up in places where no liquid's supposed to go. She's gonna kill you.
立浪中尉がその A 氏ですか？
まあ、はい、すみません。
相手は和田摘だったとか。
Yeah.
はい。
She's so angry.
戦いの状況判断は私の領分ではありませんが、まあ無茶をしたものです。まともに動いたことが奇跡です。
Yeah, I hear that a lot, actually.
水没早期に脱出操作が取られた場合の動作までは想定内ですが、戦闘なんて。
It wasn't really like he had a choice.
まさか水中戦に耐えろなんていう回収要望は書かれていないでしょうな。
Oh no.
その点はご安心ください。回収すべきは A 氏の少年の方ですので。
申し訳ありません。
しかし損傷を受けて沈没したとなれば修理も不可能でしょう。機体生産に自由が利かない今、扱いは慎重にしていただきたい。
Yeah.
重々承知しております。
それにしてもシアトル駐留軍の消耗は東方の想定より激しいようで。
It's the salt.
現在の稼働率は 60% 台ですが、この様子ですと近々割り込むでしょうな。
おっしゃる通りですね。何しろ前線で任務についているのはこの絵ではなく我々シアトル駐留軍なのですから。損傷機からの部品取りで急場をしのいでいますが、まともに奇数を揃えることのできない状況が続いています。
Right.
それに加え、修理するにも部品が足りず、共食い整備などで対応しているありさま。さらに申せば、 共食いするための期待すら足りなくなっているのです。
Yeah.
確かに、そうでしょうな。
これがどれほど危機的な状況かお分かりでしょう。シアトル駐留軍に戦術機を優先して回していただけませんか。
The trouble is, though, I'm guessing that we hear the same stories everywhere.
ことの重要性は認識しているつもりです。しかし残念ながら、我々の側も現状で限界ギリギリでしてね。
Like, where even, like, do they even have factories anymore? I'm guessing they all sunk with Japan. If that's the case, then all they have is whatever happened to be in, like, storage on Hawaii or something. That's not gonna last.
私が申し上げているのは、その限界値を上げていただきたいということです。すなわち、この軍機の整備に回している分を融通していただきたいということです。それは十分可能なはずです。
I don't see the Royal Guard letting that happen, especially because they're obviously planning to do some kind of military movements. They're not going to allow themselves to get weakened.
この絵の機体をばらして部品取りに使えということですかな。
それも含みます。しかし、竹三日槌の部品を白縫いにどのくらい流用できるのか、私には分かりません。ですが、今は具体的な方法よりもまず、リソースの再配分をするのかしないのかについてご検討いただきたいのですが。
Yeah, no. I mean, the problem is too, like, the Takamikazuchis are so good and so just powerful on the battlefield. It really logistically also doesn't make much sense. What I would, if I were her, what I would be asking would be saying, like, look, if we can't get new parts, then the Royal Guard should be circulated into, you know, the same roles as the IJMD. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like, they need to be going on patrols. They need to be sent to the front lines. Like, if they're still kind of doing the thing where they just hover around the important people, but just essentially aren't doing anything, like, that's manpower and powerful manpower that's just not being utilized when we have desperate need. I'm sure they also wouldn't go for that, but I feel like that's a better request than what she's claiming here. Good grief.
この軍機は国内外問わずその存在自体に価値があるということは理解しています。この軍の健在は征夷大将軍殿下、いえ、征夷軍艦閣下の検証ぶりと意向を体現しているものと言えましょう。
Yeah.
それがままならぬとなれば、帝国の威信に関わると申し上げてもよい。しかし、一方で、実際に国防の根幹を握っている帝国軍の働きなくして、国は成立できません。今はそれが崩れようとしています。この現実を直視していただきたい。
I'm not sure she's doing this quite right, but I definitely get it. I get what she's saying, and I think she's right. I just don't think it's gonna work. Whoa, turn it down a notch, Captain. Yeah, pretty much everyone in the IJMDF would agree with her, word for word. If anything, I'm grateful someone's finally speaking up for us. Speaking truth to power is great and all that, but you gotta keep in mind there's gonna be consequences. Ain't the best idea to pick a fight with the Royal Guard when they're the ones running the show. This guy's a suit. You don't rise to his position without knowing which side your bread is buttered. No crap he's gonna side with the Royal Guard. That's Military Industrial Complex 101. Ah, but that's why she wanted to talk to him here, because she specifically wanted to talk to him, like, man to man. Not like man to woman, I guess you could say. Because he can be more honest in this situation than he probably would be otherwise if he's surrounded by other attendees. So we'll at least get an honest answer from him, probably. I'm sure the answer's still gonna be no.
小牧隊のおっしゃることはもっともです。筋も通っていて分かりやすいお話でした。
So he's arguing it probably could be done.
現場としては当然の話だ。私もよくわかります。しかし、肝心なことが抜け落ちていますね。
肝心なこととは？
今のお話、する相手が違うということですよ。そういうことは政府、いや、まずは帝国軍の上層部に掛け合ってください。
But we don't need to do that to know how that's gonna go.
我々は何も好き勝手にやっているわけじゃない。政府が示した方針に従っているんですよ。
So before Japan sank, they were allowed some leeway to still run themselves as a business. You know, that way they could, you know, participate on the global scale, keep themselves fueled and funded and all that good stuff. Now, they pretty much are a subsidiary of the government. They were kind of brought in. Like essentially you could think of these corporations have been incorporated into the government now. And so he can't allocate resources. He probably can't even like sneeze without having to like let somebody at the Royal Guard know.
その変更を望むのなら手続きが必要です。我々レベルの協議で決められることではありません。たとえ私が川崎の専務だとしても。
Yeah, not anymore.
それは分かっています。しかし、そのようなやり方を状況は待ってくれません。本来であればこの手の書類はメールに添付してお送りすれば事足りるものです。しかしそれでは回答まで時間がかかりすぎるし、正確な現状が伝わるとも思えません。この貴重な機会を逃すほど我々に余裕はないのです。筋が違う。非礼だとおとなしくもしていられません。軍の現場の希望を叶える提案が御社からも上がってくること、私はそれを強く期待しているのです。
Interesting way she's phrasing it. I knew things were bad, but dang, for the captain to be this forceful, we must be in some really deep crap.
なるほど。大尉の思惑、理解しました。では、その熱意にお答えして、一つ興味深いお話をしましょう。
Uh-oh.
今回、私がイカルガ閣下に同行したのは、ボーニング社と共同でシアトルに生産拠点を作るという計画を進めるためです。
That's interesting. A production hub, like a major industrial site exclusively dedicated to making Imperial TSFs here in Seattle.
無論、諸問題を解決するまで時間はかかるでしょうが、この計画にアメリカは前向きですよ。我々も社員の移動の手配を始めました。
I think the reason why the US is so like wanting this, they want these things close to them. Because if you think about it too, like if like the crap hits the fan, it's really easy to then, you know, gain control of the power of the production plant for food and to gain control of a TSF factory. You know, if these are just relegated to Hawaii, they're a little out there to be like claimed for the United States. So it makes sense the United States to be like, oh yeah, we'll give you land to do this, get favors to benefit us in the immediate future, and then when the time comes, we can just take it for ourselves. Like, it's really a win-win for the United States, honestly.
それは、ボーニングの工場を拡充するということですか？それとも、新規に川崎の工場を建設するという話なのでしょうか？
Maybe it's both. Heck, at this point, they might actually be prioritizing anti-TSF fighters, because up till now, these are still units that are focused on, well, at least the Kawasaki ones are focused on fighting Beta. The Boning, which is, you know, a Boeing pseudonym, they probably also have some of the American like anti-TSF ones, but maybe they're going to make some kind of fusion model or something.
国のバックアップは受けますが、新規に弊社の工場を建設します。
Interesting.
それでは、専用の設備や重機が必要になってくると思いますが、そのあたりの問題にはどう対応されるのでしょうか？
アメリカは低酸素体に放置されたままの他社工場を解体再利用することに合意してくれました。
I'm glad. But that's going to be quite a process.
とはいえ、実際に工場を解体して移築するまでにそれなりの時間は必要でしょう。来年はそれに専念することになると思いますよ。
I mean, this is an implication that they are at least feeling confident about the peace talks then, maybe? An honest-to-God TSF factory here in Seattle. This sounds too good to be true.
しかし、低酸素体からの工場移設、骨の折れる仕事になりそうですね。
It does sound too good to be true. Think about that, Hibiki.
鉄道が利用可能とのことですから、運搬には支障ないようです。もっとも、現地では酸素マスクの世話にならざるを得ないでしょうが、カリフォルニアのロングビーチには大規模な戦術機生産工場がありましたし、いろいろと期待は持てます。
We talked about this way at the beginning too. Like, a lot of stuff down there, but we weren't allowed to grab it. He's right, we can't live in the low oxygen zones, but there should be lots of usable equipment and TSF parts for us to recover. Corrosion shouldn't be an issue since the low oxygen zones act as a sort of natural mothball.
楽しそうですな。
立浪、そのだらしない顔を何とかしろ。
すみません。
その計画大変結構なことだと思います。ですがそれを現実のものとするためには今日を乗り越えなければならない。
Well, maybe we
私
can.
は
Sorry.
むしろその思いを新たにしました。
Maybe we can send an initial team to go and like inspect the factory and can also recover TSF parts at the time.
と言いますと、
今の計画の中に工場移設完了までいかにしてシアトルを守るか、その算段は含まれているのですか？
それまでの穴を埋めるためにイカルガ閣下はこの世を連れてきたのではないかと思います。
If he's right about that, then I'm for it. It makes a lot of sense. But again, too good to be true. I feel like there's more going on than just that.
この絵軍が早期駐留するって言うんですか
4カ国会議の行方を誘導するのが主目的でしょうが、それだけのために貴重な燃料を消費して大隊を率いては来ないでしょう。
A show of force, huh? Bring the Royal Guard here and hope it's enough to deter a deterrent to keep the French and Canadians from getting any crazy ideas.
さて、工場移設の話をお聞きになった今なら、これは大尉の懸念への答えになりませんかね。
4カ国会議の終了とともにこの絵軍が引き上げるわけではない。工場移設完了まで駐留する。確かに朗報ではあります。事実ならば。
Yeah, but
ですがこの絵軍と帝国軍は元来指揮系統が全く異なります。懸念が払拭できるかどうか即答は致しかねます。
yeah, that could be unfortunate.
この絵軍には任せられないと。
No, it's about coordinating and knowing each other's like strengths and weaknesses.
これまでがそうだったようにどちらか片方という話ではありません。対立しているように思われているのならそれは誤解です。
そうですか。まあいいでしょう。そうそう、移設に際しては放置されたままの戦術機の回収も予定しています。
Excellent.
イーグル系は可能な限り優先的に回してもらうよう交渉中です。
Ooh, that could be interesting.
イーグルそうか、その手が。
Because it's child's play to mod an eagle into a kagero. A kagero isn't as good as a shiranui, but it's a pretty solid machine in its own right. Used to pilot one back in Europe, so I can vouch for them personally. Might take me some time to shake off the rust, but once I do, it'll be no different from flying what I'm used to. And the cherry on top, most of its parts should be compatible with the shiranui.
それからこの件、来年といっても悠長に構える気はありませんよ。2週間後ぐらいには動きがあるでしょう。
Okay. Yeah, I remember them talking about in TSF design, like a lot of TSFs were made in collaboration and were based off of like an original design, and like they were designed to have a lot of interchangeable parts because if it works, don't break. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it also makes it so that you can do these cross builds and stuff, which is really, really helpful, especially when you're working with other nations.
2週間
Why didn't you say something sooner? Oh crap, the old man was testing the captain, wasn't he?
なるほど。それならば私の懸念は払拭されたと言っても良いでしょう。
それは何より。うまくいけばお互いに一息つけますな。
I hope so.
ご確認ですが、この件、軍の上層部は？
もちろん知っていますよ。それが大尉のところに降りてこない理由は知りませんがね。
That's not good.
私の方からそれを大尉に申し上げたということを伝えておきましょう。それは実質現場の声に弊社がお答えしたことになると思いますしね。
恐縮です。こちらからも報告書に書かせていただきます。
Yes, things worked out in the end. Not like there was much point preparing these documents. This whole meeting was a formality at best. I don't like that either. Why? If it was so hard to schedule with him, why wouldn't they tell her? Mr. Glasses here had us dancing in the palm of his hand. Thinking about it, the Seattle Peace Conference might as well be a simple formality too. Crap, maybe they already reached an agreement and now they're just going through the motions?
立浪注意。何か質問でも。
あ、いえ、何でもありません。
では私から一つよろしいですか？御社の社員は今どのぐらいいらっしゃるんです？社員の移動というおっしゃりよう。感覚の違いかもしれませんが、随分と人数を抱えておられる印象なのですが。
ほう、さすがは大尉。 細かいところに気がつかれましたな。正確な数に関しては箝口令が出ていますが、かなりの人員が脱出に成功しています。
How? Did they somehow know it was gonna happen? That seems really odd that, like, a company was able to evacuate a majority of their people when so many other people were lost. Why did they just happen to be on boats at the time? And how did they avoid the calamity of the wave? Were they all just in Hawaii for some reason?
それが可能になったのには理由が2つあります。一つは東南アジアへの生産拠点の移動を計画し、複数の船舶を確保していたこと。
Okay.
3.
A regular tanker is larger than your average TSF carrier to begin with, and this guy's saying they had several of those juggernauts just lying around? Assuming the Kawasaki people knew what they were doing, they could have evacuated thousands, tens of thousands, no problem.
当時、弊社は東ティモール近海に生産プラントと戦術機生産工場を建設する計画を動かしていました。
Oh.
その基幹部分にあたる設備の製造が完了し、輸送船を確保し、船積みが終わったところだったのです。
生産プラントではもしかしてその施設が
That would make sense.
ええ、シアトル湾内に移築したあれは弊社が国に提供したものです。ハワイで再組み立てを開始する直前まで来ていたのですがね。あのような事件が起きてしまったことについては釈然としない思いもありますが、我々としては生産プラントが無事に稼働していることに喜びを感じています。
That makes sense.
そうでしたか。
そしてもう一つの理由、それはバビロン作戦直後に下されたイカルガ閣下からの命令です。
命令、それはどのような？
もちろん国外脱出命令ですよ。我々が大解放の可能性を知るはるか以前にそれが下されたことで、多くの避難民を船に乗せることができたのです。
Interesting. Again, it's like he had more information than he should have. Maybe he had people in space who were able to observe it, like what was happening, and relay it enough. But like, I don't know, like there was a pretty significant indication that like all the communication systems went down. So maybe, how did he know?
国外脱出？
Wait a minute. If I'm right, and plus, okay, hang on. Maybe I'm going crazy here. He said a name. Oh, that's just the name of the company. Okay. I'm just going crazy here. But like, I was thinking, if Yuko Sensei's sister is still here and she's smart enough, I wonder if she might have foreseen or maybe been warned by her sister, like, hey, if they do this, terrible things are gonna happen. Do what you can to save as many people as possible. And like, as soon as like things started going south, she was like, hey, we need to move. And so he's like, okay, let's do this.
今バビロン作戦直後とおっしゃいましたが、その頃日本では大規模な津波を警戒し、内陸高台への避難命令が出ていたはずです。その頃に国外脱出命令ですか？
Yeah, that seems weird.
正確な時間は覚えていませんね。あの混乱の最中、時計やカレンダーを見る余裕もなく、ひたすら急いでいたもので。
セムはどちらにおられたんです？その間、津波の影響はなかったんですか？
ずいぶん細かいところを気にされますね。何か問題でも？
It just seems suspicious.
どうして閣下はそんな自分にそのような命令を発することができたのでしょう？
Yeah, it's almost like, I hate to think it, but like, if he knew, did he purposefully sacrifice like the larger amount of constituents who maybe he thought would have bogged things down, but made sure to get personnel that he felt were imperative to like the continued survival and like expansion of Japan out? If that's the case, that's terrible.
さあ、そこまでは。ことその件に関しては、私よりも大尉の方が詳しいのでは。軍需産業とはいえ、我が社は民間ですからね。さて、私は次の予定があるので、そろそろ。
Dang it. She's like, crap, I probably asked the wrong questions.
本日は ありがとうございました。良いお年をお迎えください。
ええ、お二人とも。
So a lot of things that don't add up about that story. That's where we're going to end for today. We learned a lot. I'm going to have to digest it all. I'm sure there's things that went over my head, and I was too obsessive about certain things anyway, but it just seems too many coincidences, too good to be true, all put together, right? Like, why were these big cargo ships loaded up and ready to make a food production plant and a TSF production plant in the water at the perfect time, loaded up with all the personnel needed to work them, just when they needed to be out on the water in a way that made it so that they were able to survive? And like, that clearly would put like, regardless of the shape of the world after the Babylon disaster, like, that's a decision someone makes when they know something bad's about to happen, but they don't know all the details, but they have an idea of what's coming. So maybe they had people evacuate to the high mountains, maybe hoping it wouldn't be that big a tsunami, but like, he made sure that what he considered to be essential for rebuilding a nation would put on barges, because being out at sea typically is the safest place to be in a tsunami. But it just seems too specific, you know? Like, it's almost like he cherry-picked exactly who he wanted to survive. And if that's the case, it's cold. It makes sense in an apocalyptic world, but it's really cold. Kind of makes you feel like he threw everyone under the bus. So we'll have to see. And I'm really interested to see what's going to happen after these peace conferences. I mean, we've got some hope, but again, like, it all just seems too convenient. It's really troubling, honestly, because it really just stinks of conspiracy and cover-ups. But, I mean, it's dangerous to assume that. But in a world like this, how could you not? And it was a lot of fun this episode. I think there's a lot of thinking that happened today, so I'm really excited to be able to share this with you. But yeah, there's a lot of things to chew on here. I'm really interested to see where this is going to go. And I'm sad to see Takaru being just a lapdog. Just doesn't feel right, you know? Oh well. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. It really means a lot to me. Like, every single one of you, it's the reason why I make content like this, and it really makes the world of difference, especially people who are like willing to be patrons. Like, it's amazing. That's why I like put your names up here. Like, it means everything to me. Thank you so much. But don't feel like you have to. I mostly just want to make sure you guys understand that I appreciate you. That's why I say it at the end of each video, but I mean it every single time. Even if it sounds cliche or repetitive, just know it's meant from the heart. Thank you so much. Until the next video watching me, or see me in next, I'll see you there.